people are not necessarily that interested in pure science and learning things, right? They want to do research and stuff that's going to make them money. And that's fine. I don't have anything against it. Against people making money and all that. But I'm sure that when you started your company, you didn't start thinking, I want to make $1 million. What could I do?
Don't get me started on that.
Okay? So, no, I do want to get started on that subject. So what I think is, what's needed is more caring in the way that we do things, and more interested in just in advancing human knowledge and advancing also the conditions of people and what we do. And I think that if corporate entities are enlightened and they're smart, they should be able to come up with things that is really useful to people and still make a profit out of it. I personally decided I wanted to study medicine because I consider myself to be a healer one time, but I wanted to do something where I could make a really good living. Okay? I grew up poor. Right? I didn't grow up wealthy. I wanted to do something, but I wanted to do something where I could make a really good living, but at the same time that I feel that I'm actually contributing and doing something that's beneficial to people and that would benefit all of us. Right? To me, that's like a perfect world, and I think that's what's really missing here right now. As I mentioned earlier, the fact that medicine is now has been taken over by corporate entities that are not really interested that much in helping people, as much as they are in making profit.
Dr. Harris?
Well, that's a good question. I can answer it several ways, but it strikes me that what's missing in healthcare is participation in solving the issues by minorities. We do not have enough of us involved in this process. And so if we don't participate, and this goes from educating our youth, we're talking about STEM education, but also making sure that they get educated in these fields that are relevant for the 21st century, and medicine is included in that. So if we are not knowledgeable in this field, how can we take care of our own communities? I think that's what's missing. And so it's nice to have a forum like this, platform, in order for us to have this conversation, hopefully to inspire some of the young people here in Morehouse to take up the mantle of being a provider, a caregiver.
Dr. Ortiz?
So my answer is actually going to summarize everything that has been mentioned here, because I hope and I know that in the future we will continue to develop all these ideas, and where there is genetic modulation, artificial intelligence, robotic surgery, that many of the conditions that we're dealing with today are going to be a thing of the past, and they're going to be in museums. And people are going to think of them as eradicated conditions. But we need the young people, the minorities, who are still being called minorities, but in reality, we are the force. And we need to inspire ourselves, our communities, to be the leaders of tomorrow, to come up with those solutions. And that's why this forum is so important. And finalizing with the personalized care, personal touch that we mentioned before, I'll finish again with the same quote I finished in my presentation. Patients don't care how much we know, until they know how much we care.
As I listen to all of you, I guess I can conclude by saying the innovation is fantastic. The interest is off the charts. Where we're going with medicine is going to be life-changing, life-altering, and obviously life-saving. But for me, what's left to be done is closing that access gap so that men and women of all communities have access to this technology, have access to the clinical trials, have access to preventive medicine. Without access, it truly is the difference between living and dying. So I want to thank you all for participating in this panel, participating in this section of the program, and all of you for joining us today. Thank you all very much.
That concludes day one of the Platform Summit 2015 talks. However, there is much more.